Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rahai Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who have taught us this truth and rule well. Peace and salutations to the chosen and the elect. I'm Ariel Zabat out of the GMS Dallas camp, and I'm going to entitle this lesson here, are the Israelites and the Edomites on earth today. And we're going to see what prophecy says, okay? You know, because you have on the left wing, the left right-hand side, Edomites, these other nations. You know, just because we're in our lower state, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans who are the true Hebrew Israelites, you know, the word is out that, you know, the Israelites aren't here anymore. So, you know, Esau, Edom, and these other nations want to hijack Jacob's blessing, okay, through Abraham, you see. And then on the other end, you have the Edomites, you know, who's saying that they weren't here anymore, okay. The Edomites aren't here anymore, and at the same time, they trying to use scripture over there in the Holy Land. That Netanyahu guy is saying that Amalek, you know, because of what Amalek did, you know, they have to go over there and cause war upon the other heathens, okay? And he's justifying himself, you know, and conquering and colonizing those other nations over there, you know, pushing them out the lands that they dwelling in currently, okay? So, as Second Esdras in 69 says, okay, for Esau is the end of the world and Jacob is the beginning of it that follow it, according to prophecy. Let's see if they are here, okay? So we're going to start out with Genesis, the 25th chapter, all right? Let's get that. This is Genesis chapter 25 and verse 23. We're going to start from there. And it reads, and Yahweh said unto her, who is the her? It's Rebekah, okay? That's the mother, all right? Jacob and Esau's mother. Two nations are in thy womb, and two manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels, all right? So these are two people, you know, two different people, okay? They have two different characteristics, attributes, all right? They're not the same people. And one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger, all right? And that lines up with 2 Esdras 69. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning that follow it, all right? And let's get, before we move on, let's grab Deuteronomy, the 32nd chapter, okay? This is Deuteronomy, all right, chapter 32, and we're going to start from verse 8, and it reads, when the Most High divided the nations, their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam, he set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel, all right? So every nation were supposed to be separated, not together, okay? You know, that's the reason why they all have their own lands, okay, and live in different regions, you know, of the world, okay, on earth. And, you know, likewise with Esau, Edom, he has his place, you know, in Mount Seir, all right, as well, okay? Verse 9, and it reads, for Yahweh's portion is his people, Jacob, the lot of his inheritance, okay? So, you know, Jacob, you know, his name was changed to Israel, you know, for wrestling with the angel, okay? Which means prince of power, all right? Let's go back to Genesis 25. This is Genesis chapter 25 and starting from verse 24, and it reads, and when her days to be delivered were fulfilled of the two nations that was inside her womb, which is Jacob and Esau, behold, there were twins in her womb, all right? Verse 25. And the furs came out red all over like a hairy garment. And we know Esau, Edom is not, we call him the so-called white man because he's not white. We just use that term because that's what's being used over here by this devil, trying to hide under his ethnicity, okay? But they're really red people, you know. They're only nation on earth whose skin is transparent, so when they bleed or get upset, you can see the blood, you know, through their skin. That's why they look red, okay? And they called his name Esau. And that word Esau means wasted away, all right? Verse 26. And it reads, and after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel, okay, which is Jacob, who are the Hebrew Israelites today, okay? And his name was called Jacob, and Isaac was 80 years old when she bare them, okay? So, you know, these Edomites, you know, have a history with Jacob, which are the Israelites, okay? Because there's prophecy that the inheritance is going to be given to Jacob, you see? And that's what this, why, you know, these so-called Edomites, not so-called Edomites, but these so-called white people who are the true Edomites, okay? Esau, Edom, that's roaming the earth today that has Jacob in captivity, which are you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, right? So let's grab Jeremiah real quick. It's not going to be a long lesson. I'm going to get Jeremiah, the 31st chapter, and we're going to start from verse 35, okay? And it reads, thus said the Lord Yahweh, which giveth the sun for a light by day, and the ordinances of the moon and of the stars for a light by night, which divided the sea when the waves thereof roar. The Yahweh of hosts is his name. Basically, you know, just letting you know that he's the provider of these ordinances, these things that we see, you know, sunlight, moonlight, okay, the seas, the waves, the stars, all of this, you know, that we see on a daily basis, okay, that gives us time, signs, tokens in the sky, all of these things that we see every day when we wake up. And he says, verse 36, if those ordinances depart, meaning that if they no longer are there, okay, when you wake up, if you don't never see the sun no more, if you don't never see the moon anymore, it just disappeared, the stars aren't there anymore, the seas aren't roaring anymore, then what? And it reads, if those ordinances depart from before me, said Yahweh, then the seed of Israel also shall cease from being a nation before me forever, okay? So that means, you know, Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, you know, his promises are not going to come to pass, pretty much. That's what this is saying, okay? So we know that the Israelites, according to these precepts, that the Israelites on earth, on earth today, okay? They haven't vanished anyway. So you have this notation, you know, of the world that the Israelites are no longer here on earth. But these nations know, okay? They know who we are. Matter of fact, let's get, let me see. I think that's in Lamentations, the 2nd chapter. All right. Let me see. Okay. Because these nations know who we are, okay? According to the Lord, the Lord had done which the thing that commanded of all. Okay. All right, I think this is verse 17. So this is Lamentations 2:17. And it reads, the Lord had done that which he had devised, He had fulfilled his word that he had commanded in the days of old. He had thrown down and had not pitied, and he had caused thine enemies to rejoice over thee. He had set up the horn of thine adversaries. So they know, okay? They know who we are. They rejoicing over us. That's just letting you know they know who we are, okay? You see? In verse 16, let's get verse 16. All thine enemies have opened their mouth against thee. You see? So they know who we are as a people. They hiss and gnash the teeth. They say, we have swallowed her up, which is Jerusalem, the Israelites. Certainly this is the day that we look for. We have found, we have seen it. So these other nations know that the Israelites are on earth today. All right. You see? And let's get a couple of precepts showing that Esau Edom is here. And this is what he's trying to avoid, because as long as Esau Edom is here, okay, he understands that he has judgment coming. All right. So let's grab that real quick. Let's get a few precepts. Have to catch a flight. All right. Let's get Isaiah, okay, the 34th chapter, because this is future prophecy. All right. And it reads, come near, ye nations, to hear, and hearken, ye people. Let the earth hear, and all that is therein, the world and all things that come forth of it. Okay. So he's saying all nations of the earth come here and hearken. All right. And let's see what he has to say. The Lord Yahweh, our power. For the indignation of Yahweh is upon all nations. You see, he didn't say some of them. He said all nations. All right. That's including Esau, Edom. All right. The nation of Esau. Okay. And his fury upon all their armies. He had utterly destroyed them. He had delivered them to the slaughter. All right. So his indignation, which is his righteous anger, okay, upon all the nation. So they're going to get judged righteously. The wicked 2/3 Israelites, as well as all of these other heathen nations. Okay. Let's grab Joel, the 3rd chapter. Okay. Let's get that real quick. I don't want to have to go too far in it, but we're going to grab some things, because we know there's only one nation who have done this to the nation of Israel, okay, to the tribe of Judah. All right, and it reads, for behold, in those days, and in what time, and in that time, which is these times now that we're in right now, okay, because we have Jacob's trouble that we're currently in now. All right, we got World War III brewing up. And we got Esau Edom trying to set up this NWO, okay? All right? And it reads, for behold, in those days, okay, and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, okay? Yahweh Shaphat. And when did the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem come about? Well, in Egypt was only the captivity we were in together, and this is the captivity that we're currently in together that you read about in Jeremiah 50 and 33, which is in Babylon, okay? And that's where we're going to get next, all right, to let you know that Babylon the Great is the virgin daughter of Babylon is Esau, okay? And it reads, and I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, and will plead with them there. Why? For my people and for my heritage Israel. Okay, because they have us in captivity, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. And we know that's going into Esau Edom, the so-called white man, you Edomites. How do we know that? Because this is part of history. Every nation, country know about this. And they have cast lots for my people and have given a boy for an harlot, and sold a girl for wine that they might drink. And you can read about that in Deuteronomy 28 and 68. All right. For time's sake, I just want to, get through this. Okay. And it reads, the children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold unto the Grecians, that ye might remove them far from their border. And this is your recompense, Esau Edom. Okay. And this is what you're trying to run from. Behold, I will raise them out of the place whither you have sold them, which is in Babylon the Great. Okay, this is where you Edomites have, where we were sold unto Babylon the Great, and will return your recompense upon your own head. And this is what's happening today. Okay, this great awakening is this verse 7 being fulfilled. Okay, he's raising us up, coming back to who we are. All right, bringing us back into remembrance. Okay, to repentance. All right, that you read about in Ezekiel the 37th chapter. All right, the valley of the dry bones. And I will sell your sons and your daughters into the hand of the children of Judah, and they shall sell them to the Sabaeans, to a people far off. For Yahweh has spoken it. Okay, so this is prophecy that's going to come to pass. All right, and this is what Esau Edom trying to avoid. Let's go ahead and grab Psalms 137 and we're going to start from verse 7. All right, and it reads, remember Yahweh, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem, because we're people before it's a place, who said, race it, meaning to destroy, even to the foundation thereof. Verse 8, O daughter of Babylon, who art thou to be destroyed? Happy shall he be that rewarded thee as thou hast served us. Okay, and that daughter of Babylon is Esau Edom. Okay, he's talking about the Edomites. All right, you see. Let's get Revelation real quick, because this is the fate that Esau Edom is trying to avoid. All right, let's grab Revelation. I'm gonna go ahead and get to the point. This is Revelation 18th verse. Verse 5, and it's talking about Esau Edom, Babylon the Great, Esau Edom, for her sins have reached unto heaven, and thy power had remembered her iniquities. Okay, everything that Esau Edom been doing, he's gonna have to pay for that. All right, and this is what this judgment he's trying to escape from, conquering, colonizing, all over the world. And mainly for, touching the apple of thy power's eye, Yahweh's eye, which are the Israelites, for what they did to the Israelites. Okay, he took it too far. Captivity wasn't just enough. All right, all those atrocities, rape, robbing, and murdering, trying to genocide, the northern kingdom. All of these things, the Most High remember, the things we haven't seen, feeding our babies to alligators, okay, bombing Black Wall Street in Tulsa. All right, Oklahoma. All right, the Israelites was thriving there, but that's not how we was going to get saved out of it. It was only through Yahweh Shah, through his death, burial, and resurrection, you see. So this is what he's trying to escape, okay? And it reads in verse 8, I'm going to skip down. Therefore shall all her plagues come in one day. This is Babylon the Great. Death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burnt with fire. For strong is Yahweh thy power, who judgeth her. Okay, and that her is Babylon the Great. You see? And we know that this is Esau Edom, because all of the other nations, when she get destroyed and taken down in 1 hour, this is what's gonna happen. And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her, who partaken in we read about that in Micah, the 2nd chapter. We'll get it in a minute. Maccabees, first Maccabees, the 2nd chapter. Okay, all of the nations have partaken in the downfall of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right, and it reads, and the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her, which is Babylon the Great, O daughter of Babylon, Esau Edom, shall bewail her and lament for her. Why? When they shall see the smoke of her burning, because this place is going to get hit with all them nuclear ICBM missiles, okay? That's going to come here and be that burning wind, okay? That's going to take place here and destroy this place, utterly burn this place. In verse 10, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, alas, alas, that great city, Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. All right. And Esau, Edom is trying to avoid that. All right, that destruction that we was just reading about in Isaiah the 34th chapter and Joel the 3rd chapter, with World War III taking place, because that's part of our deliverance, and that's the last prophecy that has to take place after Jacob's trouble and after the New World Order, which is the MOTB, that micro C hip. Once those two, simultaneously start taking place and World War III start brewing, the Israelite up next. There's no other nation that's gonna rule. Okay, you see. As a matter of fact, let me go ahead and get that first Maccabees with these other nations taking place, because y'all gonna get judgment too. Don't think you was gonna escape listening to this without understanding your judgment as well. All right, this is First Maccabees, the 2nd chapter, verse 10, and it reads, "What nation had not had a part in her kingdom and hadn't gotten of her spoils?" You see, so these other nations had partaken in the downfall of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. That's why they can come over here and live deliciously off you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, who are the true Hebrew Israelites, you jakes, man. All right? So no, you never going to be equal on top. You're going to be on bottom, always on bottom here in Babylon the Great. That's part of the curses, man. So Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. And with that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem Rahah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who have taught us this truth and rule well. Peace and salutations to the chosen and the elect. Shalom.